Hello, guys. We are here one more time at superpop.tv with Rick. He is an independent artist. I don't know who he is and where he is right now, but he's gonna tell us. Rick, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Will. Good to see you.
All right, all good. Where are you?
I am Vancouver, Canada.
Oh my God, Canada. So I am in England, so we are really, really far away, but we
Yep.
still can have this opportunity here with Zoom call. It's a simple way to show who you are, talk about your personal life, because we want to know about that, and also about your new release and your plans for the future. Let's go for that.
Let's go for it, man.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
good. So you are in Canada. I have to start with this question. I know it's not normal, but how old are you?
54.
Good. You know why I'm asking that? Because I really love when you have people with more experience. Because we have a young audience and they all of them they want to be an artist. So they are normally people, young people trying to build a
Yep.
career. So they want to know about how did you do, what are you doing to keep going with your career, etc. 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 Let's talk about it.
Okay. Let's go
Good.
for it.
Rick from Canada, 54, and he's going to teach us a lot of things because we are here to learn too. Good. So Rick, what kind of music are you we are talking about? Is it like pop music, rap?
It's funny, Will, because people have had a hard time defining me. And it's interesting because my music is, firstly, it's probably best closest to say rock and roll. Although it has shades of country in it, has shades of blues in it, has a little bit of big band, a little bit of jazz. But it's mostly sort of guitar rock and roll. And I like the term rock and roll because people have a hard time. They always ask me, what kind of rock do you play? Is it garage rock, indie rock, punk rock? It's a little bit of everything. And to give you an idea, Will, the interesting thing I've had with the music over the years is when I promote it, I have people who focus on country music. They say, oh, you're too rock and roll. People who focus on rock and roll say I'm too retro rock. The
Wait,
retro
wait,
rock
wait,
people
wait.
say I'm too
Wait.
modern rock.
So you are in the middle. You are mixing
I'm
both parts.
literally in the crossroads. Yes.
Thank God. That's what I like. Because when we mix, we have the opportunity to optimize the music industry. When you keep the same years and years and years, and now with the social networks, everyone is produce music. So we need this kind of projects, mixing styles and bring something new using what we already have. This is optimization. For any kind of
That's
thing we do, that's the way we optimize, working with what we already have. This is incredible. So, you said you
Sorry,
are.
you've just summarized my music in like 30 seconds. I'm impressed. You just summarized me like you summarized it perfectly.
Am I reading you? Am I reading you? Reading
Maybe,
your career?
yeah, you know what I'm doing. Yeah, I love
That's
it.
good. That's amazing. So, we are talking about mixing country with indie rock or folk.
Yep, yep. Country, indie rock, punk rock, retro rock.
Punk rock?
Yeah, I've been compared to the Clash many times.
Oh,
It's
that's
interesting.
amazing! I'm very
Yeah.
curious to his music video. That's incredible. But give us some example, like a reference about how can I say other artists we can compare with, but only for each genre you are mixing. About country, is there any artist doing something the
Oh, I
same
like
like you are
that.
doing?
I probably sound or would refer to maybe Keith Urban, possibly Waylon Jennings, that sort of style of country.
Good reference. I like it. So, what about indie rock?
Indie rock. I'm trying to remember. I wish I could remember the name of a Scottish band. I absolutely love these guys, and the name's slipping me at the time, at the moment. So I'll go more to a sort of a modern or well-known indie rock band would be Green Day. That's more not they're not necessarily indie
Okay.
rock, but lots of indie rocks. I'll follow their route.
I like it too. So, I want to hear your music. I want to have your music on my playlist for sure. So,
Cool.
what about the old school rock?
Buddy Holly for sure. I mean, a couple of my tracks literally are a merge. I consciously, one of my tracks, I consciously merged Buddy Holly and Green Day to
Okay,
create a very
let's
unique sound.
guys pay attention on this uh, person that came like a gift from God. He's talking about reference, and I'm not talking about only what's commercial. He's mixing what is commercial with what is not very common, but he's still doing his own style and make something original. That's what we are talking about. Originality. That's incredible. So when you started thinking with this mindset, like I'm gonna mix and do something new from what I have,
Yeah.
optimizing my music career. When you started thinking about this, was it
Consciously,
recently or always like that?
I've always done it well, but consciously the last 2 years. Because last 2 years I've really made the huge music push, like getting my music out there, marketing it, and doing the whole business side of things. Subconsciously, I've always had these different influences that have worked in my songwriting and the music that I perform. And only recently, I actually consciously said, "Okay, I'm actually going to in this song, I'm going to put Green Day and Buddy Holly together." And so
Wow.
it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
That's good. So when we started then, because now we are going back on your career, we are analyzing it going back. So when we started producing music, and you are doing independently, right?
Yeah,
Okay, when we
yeah,
started producing music, because now 3 years ago you started mixing more than before. But when we
yeah.
started, since the beginning.
Since the very beginning. I mean, if you want to go back to when I was a little kid, are we going that far back, Will?
Oh, I don't know if we started like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know.
No, for mixing though, I'll get more into in mixing. When I started recording myself was in my 20s, and I'd get other people to record me, and I learned a lot. I watched every producer I worked with. I asked question after question after question, and then I got to a point, about 10, 12 years ago, I started recording myself. And I wasn't very good at first. I had a heck of a time. But the beauty of the internet, you talked about internet. I was on the internet all the time in forums and on chats and talking. How do you get this sound? What do you do in the studio with this? And what do you do with that? And I just kept, and it's amazing the community. The music community is so good because so many people are willing to help you. And I basically learned trial and error to mix and produce myself. And now at this point, people always say you should not mix and master yourself. I do everything myself. I record myself, I mix myself, and I master myself. And I tried working with so many people, but nobody could quite get the sound I was looking for. Because I use a merge, literally use a merge of old school techniques and modern producing techniques.
So I'm sure that the quality is amazing because you have
Thank
more
you.
experience, and then I can say that. Look, we working with music production. We know there is music that's like popcorn. You put on the microwave and it's done. Okay, it's
Yeah.
almost done like that. You just can come to your hand, done. This is another kind of music. In the past, normally they said, "Oh, in independent music is lo-fi." That was meaning like low quality because they are producing at home. No, today with the help of technology,
Yeah.
with the help of internet, with the help of many platforms you can use to learn, like e-learn material, like we have on mw3.biz for independent artists to learn and produce by themselves, and also use the experience of people with more experience like Rick. A good example for us, a good example for our audience. And I'm loving this interview because I'm talking and learning at the same time. All right.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
from that age, you said it started with 20, and then when we started doing like concerts.
Oh, I was performing in my teens. Is when as a teenager, I started, and I played
Wow,
in.
that's good.
Yeah, I started singing at 14, and luckily I wasn't smart enough to actually realize how bad I was at the time. So I got myself out there and started singing in front of people. Thank goodness I didn't know how bad I was. But I mean, it takes a bit of guts to get out there and start performing. It's tough at first, and I got used to it. First time I did live radio, I think I, scared out of my mind. I couldn't believe how scared I was first time I did live radio. And first time I did live TV was a bit easier. And then you got to a point where it doesn't matter whether the crowd's 100 or 1,000 or 10 people, you enjoy it, you have fun, and you roll with it. So I've had a lot of, although I haven't much performed in the last few years, it didn't help, but I love performing and I've been doing it all my whole life.
That's incredible. So you did TV too.
Yeah. local TV in Vancouver. I've been on local TV and local radio in Vancouver. And it's been a year since I've done it. And of course, now podcasts like this and that sort of thing, it's a live venue as well. I've done live radio spots and things like that. But it's a lot of fun. But it's tough at first, Will. I mean, it's scary when you first do it. Wow.
Yeah, like I was asking myself just listening to your speech, and then I was just asking, was it worth the effort, the investment about your life, dedication, etc. Because I can see by the way you talk about music, you love it.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you think it was worth like all the investment and effort paid off?
Yes, there's no question. I mean, it pays off in many ways. I often say to people, if you're looking to be rich and famous, if that's your only reason to do music, don't bother. You're wasting your time. You got to do it because you
Great,
love it.
great. That's what I'm talking about. About likes, followers. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many followers and likes you have. Doesn't matter how many people you have, in a concert. You are doing what you love. I'm
Yes.
sure there is people out there that wants to listen to you. Not only on your country, especially because people with, speaking English and singing in English can reach a lot of countries at the same time, even
Yes.
countries that are not English speakers. So doesn't matter. Just work on your song, ask for help, learn online. If you don't have the conditions, don't wait for some producer just to find you and say, "Come
Yes.
here, I'm gonna produce you." No, it's not like that. Work out your own EP. Try to do some marketing campaign like social networks or
Yeah.
platforms that you can have articles published about your track, and then put on Spotify and put out there. The rest
Yeah.
is consequence if you are working with purpose and doing that with focus on the results that you want. It's not just to be commercial, just to do what is polemic, just to talk about what's polemic, but working with talent for lyrics, for playing instruments, etc. And then that investment, like Rick did, will pay off. And
Yeah.
in this case, we are talking here about a person with a lot of experience that was not coming here and lying about these things.
No.
Obviously, we can feel on his speech that he loves it, and he's an example for us to follow, especially the younger ones. Okay, so Rick, just a question: can you
Yes.
sing something right now, or is it's not possible
Unfortunately, it's not possible because
where you
Vancouver. It's
are?
now bright early in the morning, and my apartment neighbors will get very, very mad at me. I can't sing quietly.
Oh no! So if you lose your house, just come to England. I'm sure there is space here for you.
It's actually turned out to be a bit of a problem, Will, because I can't do impromptu videos. And many times people say, "Rich, can you quickly do something for me?" And we'll put it up on TikTok. I say, "Well, I sing very, very loud." It's just the way my voice is projected. Well, over the years, I've just developed a very, very strong and powerfully loud voice.
Oh, come on. You are making me like very curious now. Come on. I can't do it right now. Let's stop the interview because I want to go to listen to your songs. I like rock and roll. I was writing about rock and roll last week, and I feel that there is in the rock and roll industry, there is that mainstream, that very commercial part and very radio stuff. And some artists, they don't have space because the lack of investment, especially independent artists, especially when you are starting your career as well. If you don't have any support, do you have any advice? I know you made the transition from that time where you used like tapes and
Yep.
used like going to the radio first, and now
Yep.
you have the opportunity to, you don't need the radio right now, but you have Spotify and all those streaming music streaming platforms. Do you have
Yep.
any advice, not only for those doing the same transition, or for those starting right now in the Spotify era?
Well, it's a great question, Will, because I have seen both eras. When I first started this, I made CDs and cassettes, and the only avenue at that point was commercial radio and maybe college radio. And the beauty of what's happened right now in the industry with Spotify, with the internet, with Zoom, with technology, is I actually see it going full circle. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. Back in the 50s, when rock and roll was in its infancy and it was born, what a lot of artists were doing, Elvis included, is they would make these small vinyl LPs or vinyl 45s. They get in their car and they drive from radio station to radio station and get some person projecting with maybe 200 watts outside a small town who would start playing their music. And it would slowly start picking up, and they would literally go on stations, knock on doors, do interviews with DJs, and they get people start playing their music. And that's before radio got super, super commercial, super controlled, and payola came in and everything else. And now we're seeing the same thing happen on the internet. I've been played in so many different independent streaming radio stations. Now there's all these people who are streaming from their house and from their bedroom that are now doing exactly what the DJs did in the 50s. They're playing unknown independent artists and they're putting it out to the mainstream and the masses. And so it's going full circle. And I love that. So there's an opportunity for new artists to get on the internet and start getting independent internet radio stations playing them. Huge chance to do it. I'm played all over the world right now, and through people who are just sitting up in their bedroom and playing songs. That's one step. The other thing I advise people is, as you talked about, the technology that's out there, GarageBand that comes with, most people's iPads. It's amazing what you can actually do with GarageBand. There's so much inexpensive software that you can start getting yourself up and recording. So I honestly tell people, and you said it will really good when you talked about people just got to get out there and start doing it. Just get in there and make no excuses. Don't wait for the ultimate time or wait for the right person or the right producer. In today's industry, you don't wait to be discovered. You get yourself discovered. So you got to work at it and go at it yourself. So time is now. There's no use waiting.
We are in the same vibe. I feel it, and I like it. Look,
yes.
You are talking about producing by ourselves. It's good. But we have to make just one comment here, especially for the young generation. Don't use samples from other artists, okay? It's not the case here. We are talking about when you think, I need to find a way to get there quickly, and then use samples from other artists. It doesn't work, especially now. And I can tell you now, like, we have the platform PopHitsCo.
Mm-hmm.
PopHitsCo can send the songs to 150 music stores worldwide, and we can place independent artist songs inside all servers of social media, like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and their users can use those songs on stories, okay, directly inside the platform.
Yeah.
Our platform PopHitsCo can do that, even for free, with the coupon code PopHitsGuest, right? So if an artist is starting now and for any reason are doing a remix or a cover or anything and use samples from another artist, our system will identify. And this is for all platforms for music distribution. The system is going to identify, and the music stores will say, no, we can't distribute your music. So we need to avoid that and do like original creation. This is really important to talk about, because now it's all technology. It's all artificial intelligence and learning machine technology. And this can recognize anything that you do that's not according to the law in the music industry. So don't lose your time with this. And I'm talking then to the audience, not to Rick. Okay? I'm actually learning with Rick because he's talking about very, very, how can I say, very good topics, exactly because this channel is for independent musicians and people interested in learning this way, with people that had more experience in another era and now in a different era, but it's still doing great. Because Rick, your songs are on Spotify and all the music streams platforms. And how we can find you online?
Well, if you Google my name, Rich Chambers, I will come up all over the place. I've worked my butt off the last 2 years to make sure the algorithm shows me and that I pop up there and that sort of thing. Rich Chambers Rock and Roll is my handle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So I tried to really keep my name. And it's funny with little simple things like make sure you choose a handle that's relevant. My first handle wasn't relevant. It was relevant to my first release, but then I had to make a more generic handle that was Rich Chambers Rock and Roll, and name branding's important. You got to constantly put your name out there. So everything I release always has my name on it. And that's what feeds the algorithm. So that's what,
So
gets you up the YouTube, the Google list and the YouTube list. So you got to consistently use whatever your branding is, consistently use it.
okay, you are talking about then branding. Exactly what I'm doing here. I don't lose the
Yes.
opportunity to be on camera and not showing you my
Yes.
my address, the website address, and also this is the company's name.
Yeah.
mwfit.biz is exactly like nobody can forget about it.
Yes.
And we are talking about branding. He's just saying that when you are going to choose, look, attention for those starting, when you are going to choose your social network handle, do the same one for all social networks
Yeah.
and also TikTok, because attention, TikTok is the future in terms of
TikTok's
social networks.
huge. Yeah.
They are huge and they are growing even more than Facebook and the others. But there is one details. Instagram is very professional. So when
Yeah.
you want to be seen by a professional, by a producer, it's better to use Instagram. Because, and I can say I'm 38, and maybe you are going to agree, when older people are more on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Normally,
Absolutely.
producers they are older than those
Yeah.
18 or 20 boys using TikTok. So
Yeah.
TikTok is good for audience. Instagram and Facebook is good for networking with
Yes.
producers and another artists.
And
And
you
we have
can't
to pay.
ignore, yeah, you can't ignore any of the social media because oddly enough, a lot of as much as TikTok's rising, Facebook is still the predominant one. It's the most used one worldwide. And partly, Will, you're right, because there's so many people over the age of 40 will use Facebook. But you can't ignore that audience, as you say, for many reasons. A lot of the professionals are there. And one of the things that I'm very blessed with is the fact that I've been trying so hard to work on all social platforms that I find that my analytics are telling me that just as many 18-year-olds are listening to me as 65 years olds. And I
Oh,
love that.
that's amazing! I
I'm so
love it.
happy with that. And partly because my music appeals to a wide range, but also partly because I've not ignored any platform. I tweet Twitter as the same that I do TikTok and Facebook. I hit all of them the same, and you have to. You can't just do one and ignore the others. You have to do all of them.
Okay, I'm curious about something. So you are doing independently. You don't have a team behind you. Is it right?
Correct.
So you're doing
Correct.
by yourself. Great. About marketing, what are you doing? How do you
Well, I have
start your
hired some
marketing campaign?
marketers. I've hired a PR firm in the UK, and they get a lot of my press. I've also found the really good Spotify playlists because the scary thing about Spotify, as you know, Will, that if you hire these people, say, "Oh, we'll get you 1,000 streams," you find out that it's robots or bots that are getting you all the streams. You don't want that. That's no good.
That you are talking about fake
Yeah,
followers on Spotify playlists
fake
and
listeners. Yeah,
plays, fake plays.
yeah.
Good. This is amazing. You talk about that. Okay, keep going.
You have to stay away from that stuff. And I always tell people, if when you look on your Spotify analytics, if you got too many streams coming from one place, then chances are that's a manufacturer's computer. It's a bot. What you want, and when you look at your Spotify analytics, you want to see a whole different array of places where your listeners are coming from. That tells me you're on good playlists. So there are legitimate playlist promoters out there, but you have to find them. If somebody, the best thing I always found is when you're looking to get your stuff on Spotify, if a company says we'll get you so many plays, chances are it's bots. If they talk about we're going to help put you on playlists, chances are they're more legitimate. So that's the one very quick defining difference if for somebody who's not sure whether they're getting a bot or real live person listening.
Good.
Um,
So right now you have this PR agent doing working for you, or you are
yeah,
doing by yourself about playlists and articles and etc.
A little bit of both. I mean, the playlisting, I've found certain companies that I continually work with now because they are good and they are legitimate. And I've also found that I'm a writer and I have university degrees in writing, so which has been very beneficial because I write all my own press releases and things like that. So I get a press release out every 4 to 8 weeks. And I've built up a contact of different music blog writers and promoters, and it's just a matter of, like you talked about, networking is huge. I mean, I have Excel spreadsheets on my computer of who I talk to, when I talk to, and I think the biggest piece of advice and the thing that really surprised me, and it doesn't in hindsight, is that you have to treat it like a business. The music side is one side of the equation, but the other side is you have to be like an entrepreneur and treat yourself like a business. And you have to brand yourself. You have to find your networks, your contacts. You have to promote yourself. And it's actually a lot of fun. There's no question. I've met so many wonderful people like yourself from all over the world that I, 4 years ago, I would have never made these contacts. But I'm making friends in, England and Australia, New Zealand, and it's wonderful. It's all
I
about
think I'm gonna have to do a proper live, like an hour talking with you and invite other artists or producers, and together we could discuss these steps that people can
yes.
understand
I'd love
how
to.
they can
Yeah.
do by themselves about treating that as a proper business, because that's what we are teaching the artists inside MWC.biz. And also when it starts growing and have 333 members, we just revert the membership to the artists as a cash prize. Every month we give back the memberships. That's only $3. So can you imagine? We have space for 1 million members. If you have 1
Wow.
million members at $3, it's gonna be $3 million every month giving back to the members of MWC.biz. So we are doing that as a social constructive project, and we need, Rick, people like you to come inside
Thank
the
you.
project, and we could talk about these things. We could be like recording a proper video class, but as a discussion, okay? Like a team
I love
discussing
that
how
idea,
to
Will.
make all those steps about producing the song and bring up and put on articles and playlists, etc., and promote on social media and music stream service. Do you want to do that with us?
I'd love to do that. I love what you're doing. You are in the same we're in the same headspace, so I love what you're doing.
That's look. I just found here one more member to the team. That's incredible, amazing. So
But I
let's do
love
it.
what you guys are doing. See, there's so many people like yourself that are creating these venues and avenues for independent artists to get themselves out there. And I commend you for that. And that's the beauty of the technology age is that there's all these new things coming out, these new opportunities for new artists, and it's wonderful. So I love what you're doing.
Amazing. Thanks for that. And this works as a fuel for us to keep going
Oh, for
because
sure.
it's not easy, but especially
No.
working as a social project because this is all about business, but
Yeah.
our business is a social project to
Yes.
teach young people and everyone who wants to learn how to do music business by themselves.
Yeah.
Amazing you are telling me that because it's just gives me more motivation and for the whole team that we have people in different countries working together with us.
That's awesome.
Great. About the platform you use to talk to curators, playlisters, writers, bloggers, etc. Do you have some
Yeah.
tip about that?
Persistence is important. You got to be really persistent. I don't know how many times I've sent out messages and emails and I've never heard back. So you have to be ready for, and it's nothing bad. I mean, there's times I've even sent people 3, 4 messages before they finally got back to me. And so you got to be patient. You can't get mad at people. You just have to understand that lots of people are super busy. And when you make the connections, then you nurture it. You be polite, you be nice, you be considerate, and polite persistence is what I've always said. And you just have to be in for the long haul. You have to realize that it's not going to be easy. It doesn't happen overnight, and that it just takes a slow build up. I often equate the whole music industry to when you're playing the snow. I'm from Canada, so there's lots of snow, and you make a snowball. It starts very small. It takes you a while to start building up. But once you get it big enough, all you got to do is push it and it starts rolling itself down the mountain. So it's the same thing in the music industry. In the beginning, you got to really take your time to pack that snowball really nicely and start getting it large enough so it actually can start rolling on its own. So the beginning is the toughest part, no question.
Okay, great. So we are already have information about your music that's gonna be here on the screen. But tell us the name of your last release, if you have something for the future recently, how it's
Yep.
going. But
Yep.
also, I want to ask just something. Did you use any specific platform to get in contact with playlisters? You can say the name, websites. etc.?
I use Muso Soup is really nice. I don't know if you're probably familiar with it, Will. Uh,
Musicalsoup.com, yeah.
yeah, musosoup.com has got
Really
me.
good for artists to be on news and articles and bloggers,
Yes.
etc. Okay.
Yes, very, very good that way. And these are lots of curators. We get lots of curators there, lots of blog. That's been my most successful one. And the rest is just getting on the internet and just make those, just spend those afternoons researching. Go to Google and research and research. I absolutely love the company called Musique Solutions, Musique. They're a playlisting company. And they absolutely done wonderful job. They've got me on some really good, relevant playlists. So those guys are really, really good.
So it's like a
To,
service. It's not a platform you do by yourself. You pay
no, it's a
for some
service.
services.
It's a service.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a very, very good service. Moonstrive Media is another service that I
Good.
really, really enjoy. They've got me on some wonderful playlists. And these are legitimate ones. And it took me a while to find them because I stumbled in, like a lot of people. I ended up with some bot services that were not very good. I'm using Liberty PR in the UK, and they're absolutely excellent. These people, they're absolutely excellent. They've got me in some wonderful
This
articles.
guy
And
has a lot of tips. Come on, I need you. Just I will just put you in a box and just send on the post office to
and
England.
and these are in people I found myself usually, searching through the internet and asking questions, getting on forums, and you got to network. I mean, you just have to network. You have to get out there, and you got to be prepared to utilize. I mean, I'm a Generation X guy. When I started this whole music push, I had maybe 5 posts on Facebook only. And within no time, I'm now active on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I've now got tons of posts and I'm making tons of connections. And it's wonderful. I love it. Absolutely fun.
Great. Now we have 5 minutes. Just give information about your tracks you have released and also new projects.
Okay, thank you. And it's funny because I keep talking about originality. And my most recent track is I did a Beatles cover. I saw her standing there. And the cover itself, I had one reviewer actually said, and I've taken a huge compliment, they kind of like it better than the original track because I really put a guitar emphasis, really pushed the guitars. I sort of copied a Green Day drumming style to put it into the song. And partly why I did this song, and it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. I've already, before this, I'd released 5 or 6 different originals. And one of them actually has got a video that's winning me film festival awards, which I'm quite proud of. That one's called I'm So Tired. But my most recent one, the Beatles cover, I put it out there because I wanted to grab new fans. People that would normally pass me by, I want them to recognize, hey, it's a Beatles song. What is this guy doing with this classic Beatles song? And they'd listen to me who wouldn't normally listen to me. And it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm grabbing new fans that never would have bothered with me if they just saw one of my original songs. And then they're seeing this cover and they think, he did a great job. What about his other stuff? What else does he do? So I'm super excited, and it's done me really well. I have another song. I'm shooting a video in about 3 weeks for another song that'll be out at the end of July. End of June. And I call it You're a Nice Guy, But. And it's actually written, it's a tongue-in-cheek song written about, we've all been there before when somebody says, I really like you, but, we just shouldn't date, or I'm not ready for a relationship yet. And I made it very tongue-in-cheek, and it's kind of fun, and it's the video is going to be a lot of fun. So that's an original song that'll be out the end of June.
That's great. That's incredible. You have a lot of things coming.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's good, man. Congratulations. And I
Thank you.
feel like, as I said, motivated to keep coming and working and bringing people like you to talk about your career and give us a lot of tips and also motivation for us and the audience to keep going with their
Oh, for
career
sure.
too.
Yeah.
Amazing, great. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Well, so do you have any message for the next generation about something that could be inspiring?
You got to just keep going. I mean, it's funny, Will, because 2 years ago, I often joke and say that I hit midlife crisis. Instead of getting a young girlfriend and a convertible, I bought a guitar and started recording music. That was my midlife crisis.
That's the best you could do.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And what I really try and encourage people is because I woke up one morning, I looked in the mirror and I said, Rich, this is your passion. You love this. You've been doing this your whole life. Why are you not really going after it? And I didn't have an answer for myself. So I decided right then and there, I am going to go after it. So for me, I always tell people that you know, one of the things I say over and over again for the last 2 years, I say, the only thing you have to lose by chasing a dream is regret. And who the hell wants regret anyway? So lose it.
Exactly. So if you are learning, there is no regret. Okay. So if you
Yes.
always you have, it's win-win actually.
Yes.
Né?
Just keep striving forward. Just keep doing it.
Okay. All right. Rick, thank you very much for this opportunity to be talking to you because this is an honor for us. Okay,
Thank you.
to have you here and talking about your career, giving us tip, and also give us a little bit of your talent because now all the audience will be watching your music video in the end of this interview. All right,
Thank
great.
you.
Even
Thanks,
if you
Will.
have new projects coming, like just send us some information about it, press release, etc. And let's just publish articles about your press release because
Absolutely. Sounds
more
great.
articles you publish, more the Google rank, search rank. Just put your name on the top. And
Yep.
also playlists. When you talk about playlists, doesn't matter about followers and likes on the playlist because the most important is your playlist with music of other people that have the same level as in terms of
Yep.
genre and audience. And then since somebody's listening to rock, indie rock, etc., your music comes as recommendation. So this is the most important, and
Yep.
obviously those playlists with a lot of followers to have more
Yep.
plays because that's the way artists earn money from Spotify with plays.
Yes.
All right, it's finishing. I could be here talking for 6 hours,
Same
12
here. Well, I enjoy
hours.
it very much. It's been a lot of fun talking with you.
I love to talk with you too. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Take care. Well, thank you again. Thanks again.
Thank you.